What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with another haul video. So I was able to get out to 10 stores yesterday, and with my current buying habits, you would think I would came back with a Walmart's full worth of stuff, but alas, it was not meant to be. I did, however, pick up some goodie stuff. But before I get into all that, be sure to hit that like button as well as the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and the bell notification if you'd like to know when videos like this and others that I do drop. So I do appreciate everybody taking the time to check out this video either live or on the rewind. And in either case, let's dive into it. What's going on, Rob, Mr. Yarn Man himself? Comic Mag Musings. Hello, sir. How are you doing today? Yeah, so I did get out to Second and Charles, and where are your pops at? Look, man, I went to 10 stores yesterday and only came back with one pop. There was one that I almost pulled the trigger on, but alas, I did not. I only pulled the trigger on one pop. So that I don't forget that pop, because it was the lesser of the purchases. It was a cable pop. I really wanted the X-Men, like the light blue cable, but I took this one instead because it was only $3. And Perry went to First and Charles. Unfortunately, the sales were at Second and Charles, Perry, and so therefore you missed out. Anyway, so yeah, Second and Charles had a sale yesterday. Well, I think it's going on for like into next week, but a lot of their pops were $3, and then more of them were on sale. Second and Charles and Books A Million are sister companies for those of you that are in their coverage area. And a few years ago, the original owner of Books A Million took that company back private. I'm kind of wondering if they're fixing to go the way of the Dodo and many of the other bookstores out there, because they are doing some deeply discounted sales, trying to move some inventory. Hidden Gem Comics, howdy, how are you doing today? Thanks for stopping by. So I kind of wonder, because they're closing the store in Jackson. When they first went private, they closed all the small stores in these smaller malls, which kind of made sense. But I don't know. But there are a lot of books out there. Just so you know, if you haven't ever shopped at a Second and Charles, that be prepared to dig, because none of it's in order. And you just got to watch what you're getting there. If you're looking for run fillers, and if you don't mind digging through a ton load of boxes and maybe only coming back with 10 or so books, then that is certainly the place for you, because you can buy 5 and get 5 for free. So I did pick this up off of a YouTube auction the other night. This is, of course, Thor #5, first full appearance of Black Winter. This is the zombie variant. Bought this, probably not going to keep it. I don't really like this cover as much as I do the other two. Probably not going to keep it. Probably just turn around and sell it, because I got a Thor 4 for sale. I'll probably sell them in a set. Well, of some of those stores that I went to yesterday, went to some GameStops, went to some Walmarts, a Target, and also Second and Charles, and one comic book store, and picked up more stuff at the non-comic book store. That comic book store, I guess, in defense, is more of a gaming store, and so it does not have near the stuff that some of the other places have. So let's just show you what I got. So I picked up Cyberforce #1, some 90s image, some would say not so goodness, but this is Mark Silvestri cover here. And this is the first issue to the mini series. I had picked up the other ones at dollar bins, and was looking for #1. Aggressively Relaxing has joined us. Good morning, comic fans. Yes, good morning or afternoon, wherever you're at. Then the comic book shop, I picked up Nightwing 70, which I already had a copy of this, but it seemed like since this was the start of the Joker War, there was a little heat on this book. So I said, well, let me pick up an extra copy. And then they had Nightwing 71, which my LCS has not been able to get me. So that was on the shelf. So glad to pick that up. Superior Hero Reviews. has joined the chat. So appreciate you stopping by. And so the last Walmart that I went to, I was looking in particular for a few of those Walmart packs. Been really enjoying those Walmart packs. They're really kind of predictable, meaning that if you see one that's got the one cover on the front, then it's got the same books that are behind there that you don't see. Been buying enough of them that that's not always the case. It's just generally the case. But I was looking for certain books, and I was able to find them at the last Walmart that I went to. And that was Thor #1, the Walmart variant. It's got Beta Ray Bill on the front here. Really cool looking cover with everybody. I believe that's a Ryan Stegman cover. Yeah, Ryan Stegman cover. And really cool Thor #1 copy there. A live comic book stream. Yeah. So I try to accommodate everybody else that's doing things and whatever like that. So I came home yesterday, wanted to show everybody my stuff. It's kind of like a kid, as soon as they get their brand new toy or the brand new outfit, they want to wear or play with it. But everybody was doing streams and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm not going to go over their streams. Not that I would pull people from them. They were more likely to pull people from me, but I think you get the point. And so I saw nothing was really going on this morning much after John's Comics with Kids show left the airwaves. Unfortunately, there's no more Saturday morning cartoons with cereal bowls, right? So picked up 2 of those. So 2 packs had the Thor #1 on the front of it. Second in Charles, I picked up Nova #1. This is from the Annihilation Scourge. And it was an okay story. I originally didn't pick it up off the shelf, but picked it up for a half price, essentially. And because I got the Beta Ray Bill one here, too. Also picked up Red Hood and the Outlaws. This is the Yasmin Putri cover. So if you know anything about Red Hood and the Outlaws, there's several of these, one right after another. Really awesome looking covers that was done by Putri. And I already had the regular A cover of this, but decided to pick up this one since it was on the cheap. Just found this, I've never even heard of it before, but it's a Blood Feud in Spiders Creek. Pretty interesting story, so much so that I put it on my want list. So if I'm out there in the wild looking for stuff, I might check it out. But the reason why I purchased it is an homage cover. So it is an homage to Nightmare on Elm Street. And Colin Bunn does the story. And then on the back, it's an homage to Friday the 13th. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see. I'm in my research stage of a cool comic collector help video. Cool. Immortal Biggie Shag. Yo, yo, yo. What is up? Hopefully you are doing better and than you were a few days ago. I always like to pick these up. Was a big fan of the series and the movies back in the day, and that's Highlander. There can be only one. So I did not have this issue that Dynamite put out, and so picked it up. And although I did say those, let's see, you got to put some of those bangers behind you, Southern. Yeah, I've been thinking about, so my comic corner over there is vastly not becoming a corner, but a half of my room over here that most people don't see. And I thought about setting up a camera and such over there so that I can kind of show some of those off when I do stuff like this. So yeah, but I said some of those things that some people could say disparaging remarks about Second and Charles and what you might find and all that other kind of stuff. However, sometimes you find that gold after digging through a lot of dirt and mud. So picked up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is the IDW, which I haven't really been picking up. I've been picking up the Mirage, the old stuff. So be looking for a video on that. I did have a huge pickup off Mike Rogers' auction the other night for those of you who were there, and I'll be doing a video when that stuff comes in. I think he was supposed to have mailed it off yesterday or the day before. But yeah, so this is the fried pie variant, which are distributed or were distributed through Second and Charles and Books of Millions. And check this out. Had a signature on the front cover. So the regular fried pie, my understanding, does not have the signature. So whoever's collection they purchased, or maybe the guy signed it there in the store, but that is the cover artist's signature. So sometimes you can find some good ones. Yeah, so I just happen to have these here, Biggie. This is one of the bangers. That's Batman 60, I believe. Yep, 60. Picked this up last weekend. Matter of fact, we could go today. And some Golden Age goodness. And Biggie says he always liked number 3. Well, Biggie, I don't know if I can help you with number 3, but maybe number 4. Would number 4 be okay? Number 4, another one of the great Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles covers, and I picked this one up last weekend, a week ago today. And so I also picked this up last weekend. It's hard to find this thing in good shape at a decent price, but the comic shop I went to was selling it on consignment, and it had been sitting there a while. And so I think they were ready to sell it that day. Number 4 is the second favorite. Cool. So just as a spoiler alert, some of you were in Mike Rogers' auction the other night, so you saw it anyway. But yeah, not a single spine tick on that deal. And so pretty awesome pickup there, especially for the price I picked it up at. But yeah, I picked up a TMT number 1, third print. And so and then the Alf cover, where supposedly he's sealing the seal, you know. And well, yeah, Rob saying hi roller. Rob, I think you were in there and fell asleep a couple of times. Yeah. Yeah, so it was crazy. And I was like, man, I'm going to fold. Well, since we're talking about bangers, check that out. Tomb of Dracula number 10. First appearance of Blade. Some 70s horror goodness right there. I had these. I was putting this through the deal. And if, well, and what a third print goes for, Big Boy Book, that's right. What a third print goes for, if you're at like a 9.4, 9.6, you're at $300 to $400 at least, you know, and that from the looks of it, and cameras can be deceiving sometimes. That was a really, really nice deal. Picked this up on an auction the other night. And for those of you who know, this is the first appearance of a character that's believed to be going to be used in the Mandalorian series, and that's always or a lot of what drives prices these days. So I picked this one up with about 6 other books, $25. So it was one of those rare occasions that you just go into an auction. There's really not a lot of action. Seller throws up something, and then they go, "Oh crap! I just threw this thing up, and it's not going to sell for what I thought it was going to." And so that was one of those deals. So, and Hidden Gems says pulling out the keys. You like it? You know, I have a lot of them, and I'm really not a key collector, but I'm a run collector. But the keys are in the runs, right? So I just happen to have that beside me here, so that I was putting some of them, pulling some of them out of the major part of the collection. So X-Men Gold, number 15. So I'm picking up randomly these X-Men Gold. There's 16, and filling that run as I find them out there in the wild for the El Cheapo price. X-Men Gold, number 17. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that book goes for quite a sizable amount more, especially in the shape that it's in. Actually, thinking about sending it off to get graded because I have this one here too. That if cons will ever start happening back again, I was going to get Peter David. I had another copy of this, and I gave it to somebody for doing me a favor. This is a much nicer copy, and it's a newsstand. And get Peter David to sign this copy like he had the other one. And sometimes you get lucky like that, Rob. Oh, well, I didn't think about that, Hidden Gems. You obviously like that comic because it is your avatar, and that's a really cool. I'm not a big McFarlane fan, but I do like that cover for sure. And I got to have a little Valiant in here in my video. So Exo Man of War, this is from the first series, number 56. So this is trying to complete my run there. And look, when I'm digging through those long boxes, I'm not really looking for keys. I'm looking for run fillers. And so you haven't got a 340 yet, well, put it on your wish list. There are a lot of them out there. Depends on how picky you are as to whether or not you can pick it up on the cheap. Newsstands are a little more pricey on that one, but if you're okay with the direct edition, maybe direct edition, maybe a mid-grade copy, which is what the one I had was, and I had got Peter David to sign it as well, but you can get them for about $40. Not a McFarlane fan. McFarlane's art really never spoke to me. Got the first few the issues of Spawn back in the day when they first came out, and I quickly sold them and made some money and moved on. Didn't really ever get into that. Didn't get into his Spidey stuff so much. Really started picking up a little Spidey around Larson, which was after McFarlane had moved over to the Spider-Man. So I take that back. I did like the first run of that Spider-Man title that he did, and I have those, first 14 issues that it did there. But really just never been a huge fan of his. Now, having said that, you cannot take away the work the man has done, what he's been able to accomplish, building a character, putting the issue out for over 300 plus issues, building the toy line, taking the chances and the risks that he's done. You really can't take that away from him. Yeah. And I like Larson on Spidey, but even talking about Larson, I really never got into Savage Dragon that much. And so Silvestri was okay. Jim Lee, big fan. And I was even a Rob Liefeld fan back in the day. Not so much anymore. You got to take things in moderation, right? I do have 377, which is one of my all-time favorite covers, the first Professor Hulk. Do you have a first, second, or third print of that? Now, the third print is the rarer and more expensive one. I've got a first print, probably about an 8.0. But yeah, so I've got that one as well. So so I used to be a huge Hulk fan, like many of you probably. It's amazing what a couple of bucks will get you these days. Yeah, and if you just look in the right places and you're willing to wait, that's a lot of time. My problem is I'm not willing to wait, but sometimes I do, and sometimes it will pay off. Moral Biggie Shack says, I got the first Rocket and low grade $40. Yeah, I saw where you picked that one. That was the one first edition was selling, wasn't it? T-Pain has joined us, my neighbor from not too far over. So how are you doing today, sir? So that now I will tell you this, for those of you who don't know, I recently picked up a Batman 8. That's the Infinity cover, and where him and Robin are just kind of jovially. There we go. Jovially, looking at the magazine that has themselves, and so it's a low grade copy. It's like a 1.5, and first edition is the one that was selling that. And so first edition was selling that. I just bought some big stuff, so I was not really in the mood or in the place to really buy something big like that, and it got up there. So forgot all about it. Saw it on IG. Hey, look, it's collect your way, man. Sometimes you have to go with the what you can get, right? Um, you have to, go with what works for you. And some people think that 266 is Gambit's first appearance, and so they go with that, even though the annual is. But 266, I will say, is the better Gambit issue. But anyhow, so I noticed it on IG. This guy's selling it, so I sent after I make the purchase. Yo, what's going on? The comic jabroni is up in the house. And I showed him the picture and said, man, I seen this and decided to pick it up when I didn't win it off your thing. And it was the same book. So he had sold it to this guy. This guy had sent it off to get graded. I guess it come back lower than what he expected it to or whatever. Or he just decided he wanted a different book, which is all cool. And he sold it to me. And I know what he paid for it originally. And I know what it cost to grade the book. And so with all that being said, I came out good because I didn't win the auction in the first place. But when I'm digging through those bins, like in Second and Charles, I'm looking for run fillers. Now you'll come across that TMNT Sig book. Jabroni, I don't know if you saw me pick this up out of Second and Charles. It's the fried pie variant, but I don't think the signature is on the regular issue, but had that one. Second and Charles, which I know you're buy some over there where you were at. It's having a sale, buy 5, get 5 free. So pick up some TMNT stuff if you're interested. And it is all books. Normally when they're having that, it's only certain books, not the newer stuff, but they're trying to get rid of all the new stuff too, or newer stuff. But yeah, so when I'm going through those, I get excited about picking up these run fillers because I'm not paying a lot for them. I'm getting my run, which is what I like to collect. And yeah. So XO Manowar number 4. This is from the 3rd series, 20. This is when Valiant came back from its long hiatus and was relaunching all the characters and doing a good job, giving the market what it liked. Therefore, it was selling a bunch of stuff. Now it's just all about trying to make a movie. 28, 29, 40. Robert Venditti did the story during this run, so it's a really good story. 48, 49. Then this is the next series. This is issue number 3. Matt Kent was doing the story. David Mack on the art. And this is number 4. And then Spider-Man Noir, number 1. I got this up out of the Walmart pack. So this was one of the front-facing comics on the Walmart pack. So if you like this one, you're looking for one of these, you can go. It'll be the first comic on the front of the Walmart pack. X-Men number 13. This is from the 4th series, I believe, or the Women Power series, as I call it, because it's the all-female team. And during Marvel Now, that's when they were trying to update all the characters. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. So then we got Batman 558. This is one of the ones I needed for the run filler. And especially like these Batman, or even Valiant even, because the issues that I'm looking for are not keys. 559. Unless you just want to pay a whole bunch for essentially shipping and handling charges, or to pay somebody else a seller's eBay fees, and pay $3-4 per comic, not counting shipping. Unless you just want to pay that for those keys, I mean, the way you got to do it is just dig through a whole bunch of loan boxes and find them. Batman 595. This is when Brubaker was doing Batman. And then also Batman 597. So if you've watched my other videos, you know that I had tried to fool myself into believing I was not going to go for a Batman run. I have not And maybe I don't go for the entire run. I don't know how I'm going to stop myself. Maybe the price will stop me. But I do have, let's see, $5.99 through $7.13, and then $3.90 through $5.41. And of course, I've got 357 of the 713 in volume one. But yeah, those are kind of the longer runs that I have with Batman. And so maybe one day I'll get to a Batman 1, who knows? Or maybe I can be like the jabroni and join the exclusive club of TMNT Volume 1 first print, and be like him, got the big boy book. So I got this too, Strange Academy #1. This is the Walmart edition. Immortal Hulk #16. This is the third print. Never seen this one before. It was Doctor Strange 177, and this is a lenticular cover. Is this when Cates was writing Doctor Strange? Maybe? Because I know that was when Loki was doing his thing there. See that? Yeah. Jabroni set his mind on the goal. He went after it like a dog on a bone. And next thing you know, he's got a TMNT 1 first print. Spider-Man Velocity. This is from the Gamerverse, #3. Yeah. Then we got Guardians of the Galaxy #8. This is the second printing. These came out of the Walmart packs. Daredevil #11. It's funny that this came in one of the Walmart packs because Rod the Rican and somebody else was telling me about, and if I'm going to pick something up, pick up Zdarsky's Daredevil run, and then picked up that in those Walmart packs. The Immortal Hulk. This is issue 20, and this is the second or third print. There. What grade did you get that New Mutants in, Biggie? If you don't mind my asking. So yeah, Biggie went out to the first Deadpool, first Gideon, and the first Copycat. At the time thought to be Domino. And then, like I said, the Walmart packs, and so I got 2 of the Thor packs, and so they had the exact same thing on the inside. Another Daredevil 11, another Hulk 20. Raw, but it looks mint. Okay, cool. And then I got this, and I really bought this just to sell it. I probably put it up on an auction. But this is one of the Ask Guardians of the Galaxy Battle Lines variant. This is issue #9, and these Battle Lines variants are pretty cool. Seem to sell well on auctions, and so I just bought it to turn around and have something to sell on the auction. Not that I don't have enough. I've got 7 short boxes over there that I bought from a comic shop on the cheap, and been selling that stuff. So Biggie says he's getting it mailed to him today. So hopefully it comes to you in good packaging. I just sold a giant size X-Men #1 overseas, no less, to somebody in Australia. And it's going to the line down under. And hopefully it will get there in the shape that it was sent in. If not, it's properly insured. But so yeah, it is definitely different to be able to. Well, you see who's on there, and so it might be more about those Ask Guardians than anything else, right? Rob, coming with one of those Miles Secret War variants. Yeah, those are pretty cool. If I had not gotten rid of my Secret Wars 8, I probably would have picked up one of those because I like the homage covers. The homages to, the Days of Future Past. There's a Venom one I want to get that is an homage to X-Men 101, and I get the ones that are homages to X-Men ones, to the ones that I have got copies of. So I've got several homages to New Mutants 98, Hulk 181. I have not and will not, I don't think, pick up the X Factor series. Haven't heard a real lot of good press on it, and the cast of characters I was not interested in. So I'm not going to pick up that new series, but there is a issue 2, I think it is, variant, and it is a Hulk 181 homage. So I probably will pick that one up. And it's got Dakin going up against Apocalypse, and I'm trying to remember who's in the background, like Wendigo is on that original cover. And if you're wondering why I'm looking over here, my eyes off screen, that's my comic corner over there. So that stuff's on the wall. So I was trying to remember the issue numbers. So, but back to Hidden Gems comment about the third print of Rocket Raccoon. Yeah, you just deal with what you can get. I'm trying to figure out what my one wall in the corner is X-Men. So it's the X-Men slabs that I have. Some are keys, some are not. And I got the first 10 slabbed, and then got several other keys like the 101s and the giant size, and then also 94, 95. And yeah, I think Hulk 2 is probably a safe bet. Saw one not too long ago go for fairly cheap. Thought about picking it up, but trying to keep my focus. As if you look at my collecting, you would think I'm not really doing a good job of it. But so yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with any Hulk Wolverine matchup, in particular the 180, 181, 182 matchups there. 180 obviously is the first appearance of Wolverine outside of Foom 1, and which is another story altogether. But so there's some kind of leaning towards that, and of course everybody loves Hulk 181. 182, however, Wolverine's on that in that book about as much as he is in 180. But really don't see a lot of love on that book. So I don't know why. Just isn't. I will tell you that it's one of those stories in there that the cancel culture that we have these days would not probably approve of. The way they stereotyped one of the characters in the book. I mean, it is what it is. It's funny reading these old books where some things were acceptable back then that are not acceptable today. Why are we taking offense to it? It was acceptable back then. It's not acceptable now. We all know that, right? It's not like all of a sudden people are going to say, oh, well, it was acceptable back then, I guess we can do it today. Look, it's yesteryear, right? I mean, you don't go back, you don't erase history to fit your little mold. You just say, hey, this is what it was. You accept it and you appreciate it for what it was, and you dislike the things that are not right about it. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. So yeah. So I got my Foom 1, 180, 180. So I got my Wolverine. So X-Men's always on one side of the wall, and my various things. So I have twinsy covers where you'll have the homages on there. Then also like one character, like I've got Wolverine mainly up there, but a lot of them are 181 homages. Yeah, it was one of those times where he was getting a little more smarter, and he went through that. It was just up and down, up and down, up and down. But talking about Hulk, I used to be a big Hulk fan back in the day, back when Peter David, Dale Keown was writing and drawing the Hulk during that era of comics, and then also, of course, back when Lou Ferrigno played the Hulk on TV, right? And now you got CGI making it all realistic, as it were. Back then, you just had to paint a big guy up in green paint. But I tell you what, Lou Ferrigno, as old as he is definitely still a guy I wouldn't want to mess with in a dark alley somewhere. This guy still looks like he'd just whoop you. Um, I got his signature at Louisville Comic Con back in November of last year, and so I met him then. It's not much for conversation. That is due to his hearing, or lack of hearing. I think it had something to do with the illness that he had not too long ago. But yeah, I mean, still ripped, still a guy, punch you in your face, you're gonna lose some teeth type deal. But yeah, so trying to decide what to do. Do I go back with twins or an homage wall on that side? But reason why I set the shelves up the way I did, that it can house, I like the J trim that you see some people have, and I like that. But you either got to go with raw or you got to go with slab, and I feel like I can go with either this way, and trying to decide what to change my wall out to. No, it was not from personal experience. It's just the fact of looking at him and, his arms. You would have? Yeah, okay. Well, look, man, you're in Kentucky. You should have just came over to Louisville, and I would have really liked to watch that. Yeah, I can see Rob going up there and saying something to him, and, just decking him one, and Rob's knocked out. But yeah, so it seems like I'm a little, and Wolverine is one of my more favorite characters. And he's gone through several iterations over the years. I do not like how it is currently, but hey, that's subject to change, right? They will change it back to eventually, I hope. Didn't know he was there or he was working. Yeah, man, Louisville Comic Con or Galaxy Con rather, because I think they changed the name. They sold the rights or something. Man, that was a huge con, man. I was there for 2 whole days and got tons of SIGs, bunch of big books. I bought so many books, so I used it as a work trip. Hopefully nobody at work's watching this. So I worked like I flew up there on a Monday, worked like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. After I got through work, I'd go and visit Half Price Books and several comic shops in the area. And so I had so many books going into Comic Con that I had to mail them from the post office, and brought all those other comics home. The way they were having to do my luggage and the way I had to do the packing, I'm surprised none of them got damaged, but they all made it home safely. Happy to report. But yeah, I got a lot of deal. Let's see. Lou was a little delusional, thinking he could beat Arnold in a bodybuilding contest. Yeah. Yeah, GalaxyCon. And there's a couple of other GalaxyCons, like one in Virginia, and it seems like there's one somewhere else, but I haven't heard anything as to whether or not they're going to have one this year. A lot of the cons have canceled. It's only the smaller ones. I did hear last weekend that there was a con in Kentucky. I don't know if you heard about it, Rob. Macedon, how are you doing today, sir? Hopefully everything's going well with you. But I don't know if you heard about a con last week or not, or were maybe able to go up there. But when I was in Memphis, a lot of people were going through. Interesting. There we go. But anyhow, I went to Huntsville 2 weeks ago and was able to go with that one, and that one was pretty good, all things considered. It was not near the size of what it was the year before, but hey, considering we haven't had a con in forever, that they were able to still get Chris Claremont there. They had Sergeant Slaughter from like G.I. Joe, a couple other people, but they were supposed to have a huge slate of folks there. And of course, that never ended up coming to pass. Yeah, that one Clayton Crane is going to be at is in Somerset, Kentucky. When is that, Rob? If you know or don't know, but can find out later, hit me up on that and let me know, because somebody was telling me that Clayton Crane, and they sent it to me, and sure enough, he's on there. But there's this small comic shop in Baldwin, Mississippi. It's just some little podunk town. It's near Tupelo, which is the bigger town, but it's not really much of nothing. It's a little small comic shop. Now, how in the world they paid to get Clayton Crane there, I don't know, but I will appreciate it if he shows up. I'm going to get some more stuff there. He was at GalaxyCon. That's where I got him to do my Rye sketch cover, and then he also signed Thanos. Thanos 1. I got him and Donnie Cates to sign it, but he signed it in the Thanos is on there with the Infinity Gauntlet, and he signed it with this Infinity signature. Yeah, the one Clayton Crane's gonna be in. Oh, okay, that was already there. So yeah, if you find out anything about that, let me know, because I'd really like to go. I mean, I had a whole slate, and of course, Crimea River, everybody else is having bigger problems than this, right? But had a whole slate of Comic Cons to go to, had things lined out, even some that I had all the books lined up, pulled out of the deal. Lemon Juice McGee Comics. Boy, that's a name. It's got to be in Kentucky. So September the 8th. Okay, pretty cool. Now, and I did notice one, and I reached out to them. They have yet to respond back to me, which doesn't give me much hope, but there's one in Nashville. Rob, I don't know how far you are from Nashville, but there's one going to be in Nashville, or supposed to be in Nashville. It seems like this month. And Jim Shooter's supposed to be there, and Bob Whitcheck? Whitcheck? Probably butchered his last name, but he did a lot of the inks back in the day. He did the one for that Hulk 340, among others. And I was asking them if they were still planning on having it, and if Jim Shooter was still going to be there, because I've got, being the Valiant guy, obviously I've got a lot of stuff I'd love to have him sign. Saw a list of his signings, and he was going to be at a shop in Altoona, Pennsylvania, a little over an hour away. Pretty cool. Clayton Crane's a pretty cool dude. Stays really busy. Liked his it's not a 4 or 5 hour drive. I mean, for a guy that doesn't have a comic shop nearby and hadn't been to a con in how long, man, it's worth it. Yeah, that's one of Bub's shops. So yeah, Clayton Crane's a fairly nice guy. Sometimes you meet these creators, whether it's an artist or whether it's a writer, and you can get the vibe that they're like, okay, I signed your stuff, now get out of my face. And he might really be thinking that, but if so, he's doing a good job of making you think, oh man, I want to hear your crap. And so he just, sits there and talks to you, pretty cool dude. And man, does some killer stuff. Loved his Rye stuff, X-Force stuff back in the day. Did a lot of Valiant covers. Matter of fact, his first published work was Shadow Man, one of the latter issues of Shadow Man Volume 2. He signed it with a K instead of a C, but it is still nevertheless him. So I'm hoping to pick that up just for the PC, and it'd be pretty cool to get him to sign that as well. So yeah. So what's everybody picking up? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm just, aside from Batman and the Dark Knight stuff, but the X-Men, which is, kind of one of my main squeezes here. I really haven't been all that excited to pick it up off the shelf. And that's really problematic if I know if I'm just one person out of, millions, it doesn't matter. But if I'm one of many people that feel that way, that's really going to not bode well for the comic publishers as they try to ramp back up storylines and stuff like that. Like with X-Men, it's largely become one giant orgy. And really? Okay. An innuendo is one thing, here or there's another, but every single comic, come on, guys, really? Um, so it's going to be largely problematic for them if they're continuing. I mean, when you're going in dollar bins and getting more excitement out of finding those things like that, there, um, you know, it's going to be not bode well for them. Hopefully, it bodes well for the shops that have got a lot of back issues that need to move them. People will have gone back. Hopefully, like me, I've gone back and picked up a lot of old stuff while comics were on the new comics were on the hiatus, and they really haven't ramped up other than the Joker War. I know the three Joker covers are probably going to break me here. And then I've been picking up all the Joker War, including Nightwing and Batgirl, which are titles I don't typically pick up, and been picking up them as well. But been picking up some big stuff too. I mean, this year I've got my Hulk 180, 181, 182, my Foom 10, which is the first real appearance of the new X-Men team before Giant Size X-Men, and then also Foom 1, which is the first appearance of Wolverine. Trying to remember if I got my X-Men 1 this year or if it was last year. Can't remember now. I have to look at my CLZ out. But yeah, I've been picking up, a lot of big books. Got that Turtles 1, got that Batman 8, and several other ones. When I say big books, when you talk about $500 plus books, that's certainly a big book. CFAP says, "Hello, Turtle King." Well, cowabunga, dude. You thought that was live long and prosper, but that's really the turtle hand, right? I was a big Turtles fan back in the day. Matter of fact, I got Guy Gilchrist, who was artist for that did the original Turtle series. He also did Muppet Babies and a lot of the other Jim Henson stuff back in the day. And got him to do me a turtle print, Michelangelo turtle print. He actually did it for me for free. I helped him with the skirt around his table. Was falling down, so I held it up for him and stuff. He said, "Man, let me draw this for you. What's your name?" And then did it for free. So yeah, I've got one of those as well. I've always thought, well, what do I really like? What was my deal? And I probably, like a lot of other people were that are in my age group, it was largely predicated on what was on Saturday mornings, right? You went from Transformers to Turtles to, Power Rangers. Really, I was getting to the point where that wasn't as much of a deal for me. But think about Batman the Animated Series. Think about X-Men, or X-Men in '92. So think about that, right? I mean, that is what largely drove your collecting. And I think that turtles ain't got no teeth, and now they don't have tails. Back in the day they had turtle tails, which would be confused with turtle something else, and so they dropped the tails. But the old black and white ones, the ones that I've been kind of looking and picking up here and there, and got several of the other night. Those are the old black and whites, and so those are interesting. They're a little more violent than what the Archie series was back in that day, or certainly the animated series was back then. But yeah, we were largely driven by what's on Saturday mornings. And when I got rid of my collection and got back into collecting, what did I gravitate towards? In kind of a nerd like this too, but Robocop, yeah, gotta get some Robocop. 1, maybe 2, not so much 3. but but yes, and that's why Pops kind of appeal to people, because it appeals to that nostalgia, and that nostalgia releases certain things in the brain that people like, the endorphins, and so that's why people buy the Pops the way they do. And so if you look at CLZ, you can do a thing not on the app but online. You can. It shows you the year, like, okay, it's got the decades, and it shows you according to your collection what you collect the most of when. So if you look at my collecting, you got a lot now because I've picked up back up modern books. But then if you go back, it's all 89, 90, 91, 92, that era right there. So what I did when I went back and started collecting again, I naturally gravitated back towards what I liked back then. I've since stopped some of that because I went back and was like, yeah, it really just didn't stay up with the times. It spoke to me back then. It really doesn't speak to me now, type deal. But there's certain characters that still do. Star Wars still creates that for people. I still like Star Wars. X-Men, I got that. And then, of course, Transformers. I've been picking up those here and there. Never was a real big G.I. Joe fan, which is surprising. Because that was all during that time. I did have a lot of G.I. Joe action figures, but never really got that big into G.I. Joe. But of course, had Transformers, Ninja Turtles, all that stuff from back in the day. Now, one of those things that, was Spider-Man. So I had kind of thought to go towards Amazing Spider-Man. Decided against that and sold off most of my ASM stuff. Some of that was led by the fact that I was picking up the new ASM stuff, and it was just like, meh, meh. Because ever since they made Mary Jane and Peter not married, which I thought was really retarded, just really didn't speak to me as much as what it used to before. And, some people might like Peter Parker not married, and that's perfectly fine. It's your point of reference, right? If you started reading comics after that time, then you probably think, well, I like him being a single guy, he's a ladies guy, he's got all these other people, if that's your deal, whatever. So, hey guys, we are right almost at an hour. I do appreciate the 4 people that are still with us now. I think we got up a little over 10 at one point during the stream. If you have not already done so, be sure to hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the bell notification. That is if you like content like this and others that I do. I do appreciate you watching this either live or on the rewind. But in either case, be sure to share it out because the sooner we get to 400 subscribers, which kind of stalled out, not sure why that is, but kind of stalled out there. Maybe I'm not the YouTube algorithm king, as some are. But maybe we can get to that 400, give away those books that are in the 400 subscriber video giveaway announcement. If you have not already done so, go check that video out and be sure to do what it tells you to do in order to register to win. And you can also see the books that you'll be able to register to win. I do appreciate y'all taking the time out of your schedules to check out the books that I pick up and listen to my ramblings, as it were. And until next time, keep reading and keep collecting. Adios.